did download a lot of mods as I was kind of showing off, and they could cause a conflict. I'm hoping they don't. Mainly with the weather stuff I'm worried about, and some of the settlement things I'm worried about. But the weapons and all that other stuff, they usually play pretty well together. It's just those are the things that I'm worried about. I do have multiple ones. I think I probably downloaded between 25 and 30 mods. Even some of the mini DLC stuff, like the America Rising. I did download one mod. I'm not planning on using it, but I did just want to throw it on there to kind of look at it and see what it is. And it is... Where's it at? I think it's called yeah, there it is. The Cheater's Den. That's the one I'm looking at right here. Cheater's Den, just from looking at it, it looks like it's just a underground bunker full of weapons and ammunition, maybe some armor. I'm not planning on using it. I just downloaded to kind of see what it is at some point in the game. But I've downloaded a ton of mods for the game, and I'm hoping that they don't interrupt each other. I am going to play with the controller to start out with. I will try the keyboard and mouse later on. I'm just really comfortable playing with the controller right now, so that's what I'm going to kind of stick with. If anybody has any questions, feel free to fire them off. I'm going to let the opening cinematic play through. I'm going to kind of sit here and be quiet. I'm going to mess with the settings real quick though, because I want to turn down the game mode, so that way I'm not talking over it. So let's turn on the master's fine. It is. So that should be fine. And if anybody has a question, fire it off in the chats. I'll be paying attention. I'll try to interact as best as I possibly can. But I hope that this does go over, because I do love this game, and I've beat it many times. Minimum at least 8 times that I can think of. It's full DLC, everything like that. I'm going to do a good playthrough. If anybody knows anything about the game, you have to say make that you can be a good provide character, and it's kind of pronounced in the world. You can choose to side with the Raiders, or you can wind up eventually killing them all. I don't like the side with the Raiders because it can cause conflicts with some of your opinions. One in particular, and I won't spoil anything right now, but that's the reason why I'm enjoying it. I honestly kind of feel bad when I make that decision, and it's not just with Fallout, it's with Skyrim, Grand Theft Auto, even. If there's a kind of a, I guess, quote-unquote douchey move that you can make in the game, I genuinely feel bad for making that decision. So I'm going to continue to play as a good character. And I'm going to use all my speech checks and stuff like that, and I'm going to talk about my build whenever I get to that point. I'm going to go ahead and mute it. I'm going to start the game and let the open cinematic run through, and we'll get started.
War. War never changes. In the year 1945, my great-great-grandfather, serving in the army, Wondered when he'd get to go home to his wife and the son he'd never seen. He got his wish when the US ended World War II by dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The world awaited Armageddon. Instead, something miraculous happened. We began to use atomic energy not as a weapon, but as a nearly limitless source of power. People enjoyed luxuries once thought the realm of science fiction. Domestic robots, fusion-powered cars, portable computers. But then, in the 21st century, people awoke from the American dream. Years of consumption led to shortages of every major resource. The entire world unraveled. Peace became a distant memory. It is now the year 2077. We stand on the brink of total war. And I am afraid. For myself, for my wife, for my infant son. Because if my time in the army taught me one thing, it's that war never changes. War never changes.
You're gonna knock him dead at the Veterans Hall tonight, hun.
You think?
Absolutely. Now get ready and stop hogging the mirror.
Right.
Alright. I love that cinematic. It's great. The beginning of the game. It really makes me wish that they would make a movie for it. I honestly do not care about how my character looks. It doesn't bother me because I always wear helmets and stuff like that. I'm not going to try to sculpt it to make it look like me. And I almost exclusively play a male character. I played a female character, I want to say 1 or 2 times, just to kind of see the differences, because sometimes there are some subtle differences in the way the game plays, and there are some perks that if you're a female, you get better damage against male players. Female, you have better damage against female, etc. I'm just going to play as the generic this guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and confirm. And I saw one of my things pop up.
Good morning, sir. Your coffee. 173.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Brewed to perfection. And today's newspaper just delivered.
Thanks, Cosworth.
Of course, sir.
This game is so beautiful. Just looking at like the reflection off of Codsworth of the rest of the house, it is great. I love the way the game looks. I love the little interactions they put in. Like if you look at the breakfast cereal.
Sugar bombs, 100% daily value of sugar.
They have the same thing with other stuff.
Nuka-Cola, ice cold. Saddle up Salisbury steak, rated A+. Looks like the milk got delivered.
I shall attend to young Shaw.
Grognak the Barbarian in the jungle of the Bat Babies.
First, but
My
Codsworth's
favorite.
really good with Sean.
Yeah, I love the little subtle things that they put into it.
Coming down from Canada, making it crisp and dry for next week's Halloween festivities. Looking in on next week's forecast, we have a high of 52 on Monday.
There's even a reference of Vault 76 on
Also,
this
there are
TV
troops
part.
stationed overseas are experiencing some unusual weather as well. On the island of Mamba Jau, the nights are cold, unseasonably so for Southeast Asia. But for the 5th Infantry, that's as comfortable as an autumn jamboree. All the easier for our mechanized Hellcats to drive any screaming commune meanies.
Can you get that? It's probably that salesman. He comes for you every day.
Anybody that's not familiar with the world There is like a...
Good morning.
It's basically
Vault-Tec calling.
set in the future, but it feels like the 1950s. I mean, just looking outside, look at the vehicles, the houses. It's a really 1950s vibe in the future. It's kind of like they paused their progression, and that's what they did. I'm going to go through some speech options and kind of let the game
Not going to
show itself.
take too much.
Vault-Tec? Remind me again?
Why, we're about you, sir, and helping secure your future. You see, Vault-Tec is the foremost builder of state-of-the-art underground fallout shelters. Vaults, if you will. Luxury accommodations where you can wait out the horrors of nuclear devastation. You can't begin to know how happy I am to finally speak with you. I've been trying for days. It's a matter of utmost urgency, I assure you.
Then I'm glad you caught up with me.
Oh, me too. You have no idea. Now, I know you're a busy fellow, so I won't take up much of your time. Time being a precious commodity. I'm here today to tell you that because of your family service to our country, you have been pre-selected for entrance into the local vault. Vault 111.
But there's room for my entire family, right?
Of course, of course. Minus your robot, naturally. In fact, you're already cleared for entrance. It's just a matter of verifying some information. Don't want there to be any holdups in the unforeseen event of total atomic annihilation. Won't take but a moment.
Sure, let's do it.
Splendid! Splendid. Now, let's see.
Okay, so as far as the build goes, you do get some points to be able to spend. I generally go into intelligence, very heavy. I usually go 9 or 10 because your intelligence sets how much experience you get for completing a quest, killing a monster, whatever. So I always go very high into intelligence. Luck is something I usually do very low. Usually I leave it at 1 or maybe 2, but I usually try to do about 4 to 5 strength. I'm going to put 3 on these. So that gives me 4 on all of these. And eventually I will... eventually I will use some of my perk points to put into these. I usually wind up going 10 in all stats depending how high I go. My last character that I made on Xbox One was I think is level like 127, 128. So I had a lot of points. That's a lot of points. You get a point per level. Sorry, I'm responding to somebody. So yeah, I usually go 10 or 9 here, kind of depending. I do. There are some dead time. There are some times where there's not very many things that you want to get, like between levels. So there's plenty of time to spend points on this to pump it up. So this is kind of why I set up. Way I want to level up as fast as I can, get the perk points, use the perk points to, fix any weaknesses or get any certain things that I want. That's why I kind of do it this way. I'm gonna name my character, and I almost always name my character this. It is from whenever I played. Whenever I played Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind, I picked this name. I found it in the player's guide suggestions for. I think was I Dark Elf at that time? It was something like that. I found the name in the player's guide. Telvanni is obviously of House Telvanni. Rallis is a name from there. I almost always pick this name for any character I play for any game. So I'm going to pick.
Wonderful. That's everything. Just gonna walk this over to the vault. Congratulations on being prepared for the future.
Thanks again.
Hey, it's peace of mind. That's worth a little paperwork, right?
For you and Sean, no price is too high.
Good answer.
I have my moments.
Around the country. Vault-Tec announced a continuation
Sir,
of their popular...
Sean has been changed, but he absolutely refuses to calm down. I think he needs some of that paternal affection you seem to be so good at.
76 last year.
You heard Codsworth. Go on.
Vault-Tec continues to expand with plans for well over 100 vaults around the country.
As you heard, if you were paying attention, there was a slight thing about Vault 76. I don't know if they had in
How
mind
are
if we're
the
going to
two
make Vault
most important
76
men in my life doing?
when they were making
Spin the
Fallout
mobile
4,
a bit. He loves that.
or I guess Fallout 76 is what they call it whenever they're doing Fallout 4. But they did at least mention it. I believe there's only 2 mentions in any of the games.
how's my little
1
guy?
in 3 and 1 in 4.
Much better now,
If anybody's played
Listen,
3,
after breakfast, I was
there
thinking
is
we could head to the
a-
park for a bit.
a
Weather should
terminal
hold up.
that you can go into, and it has a little bit of information about Vault 76. Not much. Not anything substantial.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Sir, Mum, you should come and see this.
Codsworth, what's wrong?
I'm gonna try to talk
Followed
only
by-
a little bit.
Yes, followed by
you guys
flashes,
get the idea.
blinding flashes, sounds of explosions. We're trying to get confirmation.
What?
We seem to have lost
did
contact
he
with our
say?
affiliate stations.
Oh,
We do have coming in. That's confirmed reports. I repeat, confirmed reports of nuclear detonations in New York and Pennsylvania. My God.
Oh my god.
We need to get to the vault. Now!
Residents of Sanctuary Hills, if you are registered, evacuate to Vault 111 immediately.
Just help me pack it up!
Check in at the gate. If you're in the program, you'll get in.
That's absurd! I am
Not on the
Vault
list.
Tech.
You don't get in.
I'm going in. You can't stop me. Okay. I'm reporting this!
We need to get in. We're on the list.
Infant, adult male, adult female. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
You two, follow me. Come on.
What's gonna happen to all those people outside
We're
the
doing
gate?
everything we can. Now keep moving. Sir, we need to send you down to the vault. Step on the platform. Step on the platform in the center. All right, that's it. Send it down.
Almost there. We're gonna be okay. I love you. Both of you.
We love you too. Oh my god!
Hold on.
Oh god! Oh god! We did it. We made it. We're okay.
Everyone please step off the elevator and proceed up the stairs in an orderly fashion.
No need to worry, folks. We'll get everyone situated in your new home. Vault 111. A better future underground.
Just this way, up the stairs. This way.
Well, female and good. Step over to the table, take a suit.
You'll need your suits before we can take
Pick
you
up a
further.
Thanks.
right over there.
What now?
Just follow the doctor here. He'll show you where to go.
All right, you three. Follow me.
See? This is our new
One of
home.
the things I did do like
Oh,
this
you're
game,
gonna love it.
uh,
This is one of our
kind of
most
some
advanced
subtle
facilities.
things at the beginning.
Not that the others aren't great,
the
mind
way
you.
the Vault-Tec salesman is
gone?
talking about
Our home.
know, time as
Everything
a commodity.
we had.
Sir?
Whenever you come to the gate and you talk to the Vault-Tec
How long do you
representative,
think
he's
we'll be
saying
down here?
he doesn't
Oh,
even
we'll
really
be going
look at the
over all that in
clipboard,
orientation.
which I don't think
Just a
is-
few medical
is
items we have to get through first. Just
something that
checking
they just
everyone
didn't
off the list
animate,
before they come
because
in.
obviously, I mean, this guy is
Prepared
kind
for the
of
future,
holding,
right?
looking at the keyboard or the clipboard. He just looks at you, sees male, female, infant, and you're in. Go.
Just step in here and
it,
put
it
your
does
vaults
play
in.
part of the game, but I do think that's very interesting. And it also kind of gives you some insight if you played previous
The
Fallout
pod will
games, like,
decontaminate and
you know, how would these
depressurize
people
you
go into this
before
vault,
we head deeper in
let
the
this thing happen,
Just realize.
not know about it, anything like that. Well,
Time for a whole new
this is
life.
kind of similar to that.
Resident secure.
They just lied to him. You know, everybody
vitals.
everybody that
Normal.
works for this vault, for Vault-Tec,
Procedure
were
complete.
just kind of doing things that they know they shouldn't do because they were paid to do it. The morals in this society are very lacking. And you find that throughout the game. There's, you know, companies were doing very shady, illegal things, abusive things to their customers, their employees, stuff like that. It's a kind of a dark game if you look at the undertones of it. Not just everything's blown up from a nuclear wasteland, and now there's people that are trying to kill you, raping people, stuff like that. It's more. There's more subtle bad things going on than just the major bad things going on.
Open it.
Are we okay?
Almost. Everything's gonna be fine.
Come. No, I got him.
Let the boy go. I'm only gonna tell you once.
I'm not giving you Sean.
Get the kid out of here and let's go. At least we still have a backup.
Cryogenic reinitialize.
Just kind of throw it out there. I'm not gonna stop streaming, but in probably about 2 hours, maybe a little less, I'm gonna go order some food so I have something to eat for supper. So I'm probably gonna take like a 5-minute break right around 8:15.
Cryogenic array.
Just to make sure I get
All
all the
residents must vacate immediately.
Come on, come on, come on! Oh, God! I'll find who did this, and I'll get Sean back. I promise.
Look at what's going on. I'm not
Why
going
would Vault-Tec do this?
to click on every one of them.
Cryopod manual release override.
Every time you hit one. So I'm kind of just going to brush over what's going on here. We just saw Kello come in. He shot and killed your wife in the game. Unless you're playing a male character, and you'll have a husband that has the baby. They killed your spouse, and then essentially what they did was sabotage the rest of the vault except for your pod. So that pretty much everybody else died. Everybody else in the vault died as far as the residents go. And you can see there's more pods in here as well. It's all the same thing. There's even a terminal over there in the corner that kind of talks about the malfunction, stuff like that. So that's inaccessible right now. But that's not what happened to the staff. So I can pick up the security con. And the staff. Oops, I almost practiced search this room. Another good thing is pick up a lot of just random stuff. So like kind of cigarettes. Cigar is really good too. Coffee cup. So stuff like that. You just kind of pick up everything you see. Again, there's another terminal. It kind of goes into the story I'm getting ready to tell. So the Vault-Tec employees that were here whenever everything was happening, there was only designed to have so much food.
Giant roaches?
Not near enough for
what the hell?
I want to say it was only, I want to say like 3-6 months worth of food that they were set to have. I mean, just going into the massive corruption of Vault-Tec and how they are, who they are. They didn't care. They didn't care if the employees of this vault lived, died. They didn't care. Their job was to get people into the cryogenic pods, freeze them, and then after that, nothing mattered. So, the terminals. There's some reading you can do if you want to. You can find out that they were running out of food, and the overseer was kind of mad at himself because he didn't ration food correctly to make it last as long as they possibly could. They were waiting for the all clear to be sent from Vault-Tec to say, hey, you can come out of your vault now. Everything's fine. Vault-Tec was destroyed. As far as everything that we know in the game so far, there was not an all clear sent from Vault-Tec to any of the vaults that is known. So they were essentially waiting for something to come that was never going to come, could never come, because Vault-Tec's gone. But that's what they were waiting on. So he wouldn't let anybody leave, and eventually they basically just starved to death. There's no indication that anyone from Vault 111 tried to leave, or did leave. As you can see, there's some skeletons. These are probably some of the the handymen, engineers, stuff like that were working, living at the vault. Nobody survived as far as the game tells you, and I believe that's true throughout the game. There's no indication that there were any survivors. There's our Vault-Tec overseer there, because those keep freaking me out. The little boxes, I'm not used to being able to kick them around. That was a pistol. And this is obviously the Overseer's terminal. We're in the Overseer's office. I'm going to open the tunnel. And again, this terminal also kind of goes into that as well, talking about kind of stuff breaking down, going to hell. He is mad at himself for not taking care of the food situation, making it last as long as they could, just stuff like that. But I mean, at the bottom line, Vault-Tec didn't care about their people that they were leaving in this vault that were pretty much just watching frozen people, and that it's clear by the lack of food that they left them. They didn't leave them a way to sustain themselves, as well as the Overseer and then the security force that was also here was trying to keep the peace from the engineers, the other doctors that were stationed in this vault. And let me switch back to my... I forget how to bring up the thing. Why is my controller? Oh, I don't have the pit boy yet. That's right. Okay, that's why I can't. Alright, so we're just gonna melee with the gun. Stick and move. Stick and move. Got it. Alright, anyway. So that's pretty apparent, obviously pretty apparent. Everybody dead in this vault. And there's really no reason why these people just blindly allowed this to happen. Like I said, the Overseer and the security force kind of took over, protected the food, wouldn't let anybody leave, anybody do anything. The Overseer had control of the vault door, which you can see, and we just kind of unlocked it and we do need the Pip-Boy to be able to open it, and which is what we're getting ready to do now. We're just waiting for it to go through its little startup. Okay, that's it. So we just activate it. And there's a lot of that in all the books. There's complacency.
Vault door cycling sequence initiated.
For example, not in this game,
stand back
anything until we get to certain things. But there was a vault in New Vegas, Vault New Vegas, where they every year they had to sacrifice someone. So they held a election for a overseer, just like you would in the leader, president, whatever. They did the election, and the person that was elected was the one that was elected. And it eventually stopped whenever there was only 6 members left in the vault out of hundreds. And they refused to kill themselves. They didn't care anymore. There was probably nobody left, and they just refused to choose who was going to die. And the vault was automated by a robotic brain, and it thanked them for making the right decision and showing their compassion, and said they didn't have to kill anybody anymore. They're free to go. The vault was open. They were able to leave. But
enjoy your return to
most
the
of them were
surface, and thank you for choosing
so upset about the choices that they made, the decisions they made, the people that they sent to their death that they needlessly sent, that they wound up. I believe, if I remember, most of them committed suicide. It's there are some very dark undertones in the game, stuff like that. There are some quirky things, some nods to other games in here as well. Thanks for installing the AK5C mod. To start your adventure, head over to the third rail and look around inside for a note. The weapon will start spawning in the world after you completed the first quest. Okay. Would you like to display the magazine locations as quest markers on your map? This is how you unlock skins for the weapon. Whoops. Whoop, whoop. Yes. I didn't mean to say no to that. So, yeah. There's very, very rough things that happens in this game. The vaults were more petri dishes than they were designed to save. There were some vaults that were good vaults that, yes, they were intended to protect people, and they did. They did save some people. But there was, or most vaults, I believe it was a very small percentage of the vaults were actually what they call quote-unquote control vaults, which are like controls in an experiment. They experimented on these people in ways. There was one vault that had one wing was red and one wing was blue, and it was used to show racial stereotyping. The red people didn't trust the blue people didn't trust the red people, and it was an issue in the vault. It wound up, causing them to go paranoid and start killing each other. There was a vault where it was, I believe, 999 men, 1 woman, and 999 women, 1 man in 2 different vaults.
Codsworth?
And
you're still here.
Some of the experiments were just ridiculous and
other
funny.
people could still be alive too.
But of course I'm still here.
They're talking.
Surely you don't think a little. But you seem the worse for wear. Best not let the wife see you in that state. Where is the missus, by the way?
She's in a better place.
Sir, these things you're saying, these terrible things, I believe you need a distraction. Yes, a distraction to calm this dire mood. It's been ages since we've had a proper family activity. Checkers, or perhaps charades. Sean does so love that game. Is the lad with you?
Sean's been kidnapped. But I'm going to find him. I'm going to get my son back.
It's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Not eating properly for 200 years will do that, I'm afraid.
200 years? What? Are you...
A bit over 210, actually, sir. Or give or take a little, for the Earth's rotation and some minor dings to the old chronometer. That means you're 2 centuries late for dinner. Perhaps I can whip you up a snack? You must be famished.
Codsworth, you're acting a little bit weird. What's wrong?
Oh, sir, it's been just horrible. 2 centuries with no one to talk to, no one to serve. I spent the first 10 years trying to keep the floors waxed, but nothing gets out nuclear fallout from vinyl wood. Oh, nothing. And don't get me started about the futility of dusting a collapsed house. And the car! How do you polish rust?
Stay with me, pal. Focus.
I'm afraid I don't know anything, sir. The bombs came and all of you left in such a hurry. I thought for certain you and your family were dead. I did find this holotape. I believe the missus was going to present it to you as a surprise. But then, well, everything happened.
Thank you, Codsworth.
You're welcome. Now, enough feeling sorry for myself. Shall we search the neighborhood together? The missus and young Sean may turn up yet.
All right. Lead the way.
Proud to serve, sir.
So I'm gonna put the holotape here in a minute. I'm gonna go with him because it just kind of automatically goes. I'm also gonna show the bats set up in the game.
Found you.
We gotta kill some blood bugs. So obviously, better stats you have, the easier it's going to be. Let's see if we can pick this. I got one bobby pin.
Yes.
I don't really want the pipe pistol. All the other stuff's fine though.
But in another house. Follow me.
So this is kind of the first quest you get, just following him around. We'll be killing some birds. So I'm hitting left bumper on the controller, and I can just kind of select how many shots I want to take out of this.
I think it is terrific. It's a bright day. I was just getting warmed up. Sir, your family.
Uh-huh. Thanks for trying, Codsworth.
You can't give up, sir. What about the city? Concord is nearby, and, well, the people there have only shot at me a few times.
Thanks for your help, Codsworth.
Good luck, sir. You'll find young Sean. I know you will. I shall remain here and secure the home.
I didn't explain when it was happening because it was part of the conversation, but there are times whenever a different color speech option will pop up, a yellow, a red, something like that, and it indicates how hard that particular speech check is. There are times that you can, get information from a person, or pretty much get special dialogue, special ways to complete quests, etc., from just picking those speech options. So
got it.
I did get one with Codsworth. That's why I got a little bit of experience, as well as got the special dialogue from it. So I'm not going to search these houses. I'm gonna have to do it eventually anyway. Whenever we get done with the quest I'm getting ready to do, I kind of have a stopping point in my head I'm hoping to get to today. I don't necessarily know if it's gonna happen, but I am gonna try, and it's a pretty good way to kick it off. This game is absolutely amazing, and I do want to get to certain points of stopping. All these houses, like the ones that are caved in, fell in, I'm going to be scrapping them. Along with all the stuff, the debris laying around as well. No, I guess I can do that. I'm gonna go kill this boat. There's another one in here somewhere. Maybe not. I might be wrong. Okay, there's not. So what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna play this holotape. I'm gonna let it play while the. Where is it? It's been a while since I played this game, so I'm gonna play the holotape. I'm gonna go grab some juice from my vape and refill it real quick. So I'm gonna let this run, and I will be right back.
Oopsie. No. Little fingers away. There we go. Okay. Just say it. Right there. Right there. Yay! Hi, honey. Listen, I don't think that Sean and I need to tell you how great of a father you are. But we're going to anyway. Isn't that right? You are kind and loving. And funny. That's right. And patient. So patient. Patience of a saint, my mom used to say. Look, with Sean and us all being home together, it's been an amazing year. But even so, I know our best days are yet to come. There'll be changes, sure. Things we need to adjust to. You'll rejoin the civilian workforce, and I'll shake the dust off my law degree. But everything we do, no matter how hard, we do it for our family. Now, say goodbye, Sean. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Come on. Bye, honey. We love you.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so as you heard, it's a very hard holotape if you try to, put in perspective of, if this happened to you. You were, in the morning getting ready to eat breakfast with your wife, drinking some coffee, and, the bombs dropped. The world went to hell. Everything was destroyed. You were somehow saved, and you knew, you were in this vault. You thought, I'm safe. I'm going to at least live. I'll get to, spend this time underground with my wife and my child, watch them grow up, grow with your spouse, and then, you're told, go step into this chamber. It's going to help decompress you for being, several hundred feet underground, and you're frozen. And then the next memory you have after that is watching your spouse be killed in front of you. You didn't get that time. And now, 200 years later, which for you was like an overnight nap, you're handed a holotape from your robot butler, which I know sounds a little ridiculous, but you're handed a holotape by your robot, and it's a message from your wife, and I couldn't imagine what that would be like to hear something like that. I'm not married, but it would be a hard thing to swallow.
Hey, boy, what are you doing out here all by yourself?
You want to come with me, pal?
Okay, then. Let's stick together.
And the dog is a very popular addition to... Huh. Cool. So it's part of this. Interesting. So, yeah, the dog is very important part of the game. Since Fallout, I want to say Fallout 1, there was a dog meat in it. And he's been part of the game ever since. It's kind of neat that they keep bringing him back one way or another, the German Shepherd. And he is one of the better companions to have. He's... The other companions, they have unique dialogue and stuff that makes them kind of fun to have around. But even though he can't talk, it's really nice to have him. I'm going to go ahead and level up real quick. So here you can see the perk tree. So I kind of start with things I want. So I like to do more damage. So I usually go with Rifleman, Gunslinger, and Commando eventually. So to get Commando, I have to get the second Agility, but automatic rifles aren't something I'm going to be using in the near future. It's usually going to either be the single-shot rifle or the single-shot pistol. So since it is just the first level. How do I want to do it? I don't have a specific plan in my head of things. I also am going to have to get these, the armor, the blacksmithing. There's some other ones that you need to have to either build weapons or do certain things in the game. So those will come eventually. I guess since I'm using a pistol now, let's go with Charisma. So Charisma is one of those things I like to get up to 10 quickly. And Charisma, like I was talking about the speech checks before, the special dialogues, Charisma is what dictates if you are able to do them or not. The higher Charisma you have, the more likely you are to pass them and be able to get those special dialogue options. If you don't, then you're just not going to get them. So we're probably going to focus on Charisma fairly early. So we're probably going to focus on Charisma fairly early, just to get those special speech options. They do give you bonus experience. They also give you some unique dialogue, some options in the game you don't always necessarily get. So I'm gonna use my points kind of. I'm assuming that was part of the mod. I've never had something like that happen. That's kind of cool. So yeah, we're gonna focus on those for now, and try to get maybe not necessarily to 10 as quick as possible, but we do need to put something into lockpicking, something into computer hacking, because there are several terminals or several chests and stuff that need to be unlocked, and that's how we do it. Got Bobby Pin. Okay. And if you see me picking up random coffee cups and ashtrays, it's for the ceramic. There's a lot of need for ceramic in the game, and I like to go ahead and pick up as much as I can when I can find it. And after this, I'll be able to kind of scrap everything after this quest here. So. Shooting at me. They really care too much. They're not. Hit that guy. I am gonna go ahead and pick up some hype stuff.
Loot on you.
Hey, up here, on the balcony. I've got a group of settlers inside. The raiders are almost through the door. Grab that laser musket and help us, please!
So that was Preston. Need some help. There's another level. Yet again, that's kind of the perk of going high into intelligence is you level up fairly quickly. And that's what I like about this. I'm just kind of... There's really no time sensitive. You have to hurry before settlers die, anything like that. Which I kind of wish they had, and I'm kind of glad they don't at the same time. It just lets you, give you some time to walk around and pick up some ammo and stuff like that. But we will find a dead Minuteman here. I'm going to take his outfit, and I'm going to take his gun. So sell this too. Okay. So we got that. Let's go inside. The number there is the percentage chance I have of hitting him, and it's not very high, so.
Lock's really strong.
Okay, go that way.
No more British occupation! Doing good with you? You lost the bad name! By the crowd! Have your tea vacuum! Chicken apes! Remote taxation without representation!
It's always good to kind of explore around these areas. If you just kind of run through, don't check anything, you might miss something, so I always recommend taking your time, picking up things, especially scrap. Scrap's really important in the game, especially early in the game, helps you settle faster. So what I picked up there was a fusion core, which is going to be useful here in a second.
It's called shooting straight.
The fusion core is going to make sense here in a minute, but it is part of the quest here. Stuck. I don't know if it's eventually going to do anything or not. I was just trying to get the extra experience from hacking, and it'll also show hacking.
Ain't right, my rookie.
Might give it a second to see if it'll stop. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to reload from previous save, which will be we're going to have to load from when we first walked in the door here. It does auto-save whenever you go into a different zone, like a building or something like that. Kill the guy.
No more British occupation! I'm doing good with you! You're not mine! You lost the back now! Have your tea vacuum! Chicken apes! By the crowd! Back to your home! Or taxation without representation! Come on, dog! Let's turn these streets! Back to London, boys!
Right, same thing. This one I'm going to do a little faster, but I'm still going to be picking this. I didn't want to lose the body thing yet. Go. Nice. Get the fusion core again. This time I'm not going to mess with the computer. I think it gives you like 6 experience and 12 experience. It's nothing insane. It's not really worth having issues like that again.
It's called shooting straight, rookie.
As you can hear, they're having a firefight with the minute.
Man, you picked the wrong fight.
was that?
Don't you die on me!
He's stuck in the door. Take the military secretary. So there's not a whole lot else in here. We can check the file cabinets. There's a holotape. Sensor module. I'm gonna take these. I'm assuming they're for one of the mods that I have. I've played through this several times. I've never seen one of those. File cabinet's empty. Empty desk. Empty file cabinet. Pocket watch.
Come on.
And here we are. We are here with the settlers. This is the guy that was yelling at us from the roof.
Man, I don't know who you are, but your timing's impeccable.
Now he wants to be my boyfriend.
Right.
Damn it.
Glad to help.
Well, if that's true, we could use some more goodwill. As you can see, we're in a bit of a mess here.
That ain't.
Please, go on.
A month ago, there were 20 of us. Yesterday, there were 8. Now we're 5. First, it was the ghouls in Lexington, and now this mess.
Sorry. Sounds rough.
Thanks.
That
It's
ain't.
good to meet someone who really cares. Anyway, we figured Concord would be a safe place to settle. Those raiders proved us wrong.
Maybe.
But, well, we do have one idea.
Nope.
One good idea can make all the difference.
Sturgis, tell him.
There's a crashed vertibird up on the roof. Old school. Pre-war. You might have seen it. Well, looks like one of its passengers left behind a seriously sweet goodie. We're talking a full suit of cherry T-45 power armor. Military issue.
I like it.
Yeah, I thought you might. Protection with an added bonus. Get the suit. You can rip the minigun right off the vertibird. Do that, and those raiders get an express ticket to hell. You dig?
Minigun. Now we're talking.
I know, right? Only there's one hitch. The suit's out of juice. Probably been dry for 100 years. It can be powered up again. But we're a bit stuck.
I'll help if I can.
What you'll need is an old pre-war FC, a standardized fusion core, your high-grade, long-term nuclear battery used by the military and some companies way back when. And we know right where to find one.
But we can't get to the damn thing. It's down in the basement, locked behind a security gate. Look, I fix stuff. I tinker. Bypassing security ain't exactly my forte. You could give it a shot.
Actually, I already grabbed the fusion core. We're set.
Well, all right. Maybe our luck's finally turning around. Once you jack the core into the power armor and grab that minigun, those raiders will know they picked the wrong fight. Good luck.
So the fusion core I got earlier, the lock picking that I did, that was for the fusion core. That was what they were talking about. And here is one of the special. I'm blanking on it. Sorry, the special magazines.
Make it quick.
Bingo.
So this one gives me. I collected an issue of Robco Fun, includes Atomic Command holotape, and the first one. I guess this one doesn't do anything. Usually,
they mask for another attack. I won't be able to hold them.
The more that come, you get special bonuses like extra critical damage and
Dog
stuff
meat
like that.
sure did find us some help. Careful.
Yes.
And this is also Bubblehead. Increase my perception again. One of the reasons why I don't go super high and worry about my skills is there's a lot of extra bonuses like this. It's easy to find.
There's something coming.
Ma'am.
You're not what I expected dog meat would find in that little neighborhood. But oh, so much better.
Oh God! Oh God! Why? Why? It's not fair.
Bobby pin. I can always use bobby pin. Use. We're just gonna kind of pick up a little bit of everything. Scrapping all the junk used to make. Used to build buildings, upgrade your armor, build guns. It has a lot of usefulness. So picking up as much junk as you can as early as you can really helps. So here's the power armor they were talking about. There's also a holotape going along with it. That's kind of weird. Sound like he opened the door. So the holotape that I just got, I'm going to go ahead and play that. I'm getting into the power armor. I'll be quiet while it's playing, and you'll see me. I'm going to take the minigun. I keep forgetting this one doesn't have the same thing as the other one. So you're going to see me take the minigun, and I'm going to start working on these raiders that are harassing them.
Personal log. United States Army Staff Sergeant Michael Daly. This past Saturday, October 23rd, while en route to West Stockbridge, a vertibird crashed into the roof of this museum. The cause? EMP following nuclear detonation. After that, Flaherty and Kenmore were shot by some scared. From the intel I gathered, this was a global event. Took off running. Haven't seen him since. Now, it's my turn to go AWOL, if that concept even applies anymore. My armor's fusion core is burned out, so I guess my soldering days are done. I'm heading to Boston, on foot, to see if my sister survived all this. She's got an apartment on Boylston Street. This is Mike Daly, signing out. Good luck. And God bless America. Or what's left of it.
So the order of our now two power armor we just got. The vertibird crashed. Helicopter because the power cord goes out. So we're shredding these things, and we're going to stop the fight here in just a second. I think when I heard this thing spinning up, I was just absolutely pissed all over myself.
Need some cover fire over here!
I don't know where, but that's usually go that way whenever you get bored. They can't reach you for some reason. He usually comes running back whenever you walk out, so. Put the hurt on him. We're gonna finish him off here when he comes around the corner. We'll just lay into him. Dogmeat's gonna go get him some. Dogmeat got an ass Where'd that truck go? That's weird. Okay. I've never seen him throw a truck like that. I saw him run into him a couple times, but... Okay. So... Deathclaw. We got a bunch of dead raiders out here. I think I pretty much just want their ammo. They have the stim packs. I definitely want those. They're very helpful early. But mainly the ammo. The ammo is very helpful in the early game. Now we gotta go back and talk to... I don't know if I got Crystal or not. Is this Crystal? Yeah, there it is. So he has a storage key for something that we're gonna do later. I don't really need anything else from him. I guess I'll go ahead and take that. Yeah, the Corvega is a type of vehicle in the game, and there's a manufacturing plant just like Ford, Chrysler, stuff like that. It's in the game. You can go to it, and he has a key that helps you unlock. I want to say it's a storage room or something in there.
Mama, you okay?
I'm fine, Preston. Quit fussing.
That was a pretty amazing display. I'm just glad you're on our side.
The feeling's mutual, Preston.
You can never have too many friends. Not in the Commonwealth. Listen, when we first met, you said you were glad to help. Well, you did. And we owe you our lives. So here. It ain't much, but it's the best way I can say thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Well, since you say that.
All right, Garvey. I'm in.
Oh, that's wonderful. But there's more to your destiny, isn't there? I've seen it, and I know your pain.
Please, tell me. I need to know.
You're a man out of time, out of hope. But all's not lost. I can feel your son's energy. He's alive.
Where is my son? Where is Sean?
Oh, I wish I knew, kid. I really do. But it's not like I can see your son. I can just feel his life force, his energy. He's out there. And even I don't need the sight to tell you where you should start looking. The great green jewel of the Commonwealth. Diamond City. The biggest settlement around.
Please, Mama Murphy. I'm working from nothing. I need more.
Look, kid. I'm tired now. Maybe you'll bring me some chems later. The sight will paint a clearer picture.
No. Mama Murphy, we talked about this. That junk. It's gonna kill you.
Ah, shush, Preston. We're all gonna die eventually. We're gonna need the sight. And our new friend here, he's gonna need it too. Now let's get going. Sanctuary awaits.
All right, folks. Thanks to our friend here, it's safe to move out. We're heading for that place Mama Murphy knows about. Sanctuary. It's not far.
She knows about it? You mean she had one of her visions while she was stoned out of her...
So, I'm just gonna walk out of there. They have a conversation, kind of back and forth. She's kind of a seer in a way, and she uses chems, which are this game's version of drugs, to induce the state that she's talking about. That's why she asked for more. You can physically walk with them from where you are to where they're going, but I'm just gonna fast travel there, get there quicker, and it's also gonna give me some time to, I guess, talk a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out the power armor. I love the power armor, and I'm probably gonna use it quite a bit. But the issue is, for right now, you need the fusion cores, and one fusion core, it burns through pretty quickly if you're using VATS, the Vault Assisted Targeting System, or if you're running. So it takes up a lot of stuff. I'm gonna wait until I get more before I start actually using it, but it generally doesn't take very long to do that. That's something else I can do too. I'm gonna make some specials. So they already put my pistol in there. I do want the shotgun and the rifle. Okay, those are the 2 guns I'm going to keep. So we can use this, and that's going to start my ability to scrap things / build things. Oops. Come on. I usually scrap everything that I can. Some of the buildings are still livable, like these, the ones that actually have a roof and aren't completely caved in. You can still live in them, but the ones that aren't, I'm going to scrap them. All the things that are kind of destroyed back here, patio table. You can kind of put the fence back together if you want to. I didn't do it straight, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't really do anything to have it, but I'm just kind of showing you that you can, instead of scrapping it, you can go ahead and put it back together. Not perfectly. Usually they snap right in kind of like that, but sometimes they don't. Yeah, it's a little misaligned, but yeah. I'm just going to scrap these. Trees also, you do need quite a bit of wood. So, pretty much anything you can scrap, just scrap it. These fences really don't do any good. They don't keep anybody out. The way I build defenses for these different settlements, they're not needed. The fences aren't. I pretty much just put turrets up on the roofs, usually about 3 per building, and they just kind of do the work. No matter what angle they come from, they pretty much cover it. I do a lot of building with these, so I don't know if I have infinite space. One of the mods I did install had something where you can have infinite space. But I don't know if I initialized or whatever. The bar up on the top right, the size bar, as that gets full, that means you reach the limit of things you can build. It's still there and it's still kind of high, so I don't know how exactly it works. Does it, override it, and it doesn't care if it hits the max? It just allows you to keep going. I'm tearing this up because this is my garden usually. I plant. Usually the thing I plant is the, what do they call it? The moot fruit. Each bush counts as 1 food towards your settlement. So instead of building, say corn, it's a 0.5 per plant. So instead of having to build 40 corn plants, I can build 20 moot fruit plants and get the same amount of food for 20 people. You can go over 20 people in your settlement, so I usually build like, 14, 15-ish. Again, it's another thing that's based on your charisma. The higher charisma you have, the more people that you can have in your settlement. So I usually try to build a little extra food, because it also some places, maybe you don't have plenty of food or whatever. Once you start linking your residences together, all your different settlements, you do get to share the food. So you share the food, share the water. Sanctuary Hills is one of the special places because it's a place that has a stream. This river down here that I'm near right now, you can build very large water purifiers that go down here. And I'm going to go ahead and clear the scrap out of the way just for when I do this. But you can build special or very large water purifiers down here. And water purifiers, I believe they make 20 per purifier for the larger ones. You can use those to make water for multiple settlements. There's a variety of different types of water things you can make, but you can use it to make a large amount of water. and excess water that you don't need for your settlements or whatever, you can go ahead and sell, which water is fairly good income in the game. You don't really need it for anything. Unless you play on survival mode, you don't have to eat, drink, stuff like that. So, you know, it's not as immersive, but you can just kind of pretend that your person is eating and drinking whenever you're not around, when you're not playing, stuff like that. So you can sell the extra water. The water does have good value. You can use that to buy your weapons, your armor, your various things that you can get. So it's kind of nice. And I also scrapped a lot of things out of these houses, namely just the BS kind of things. Like, you don't need a stove. I'm gonna leave that stool there, you know, kind of make it feel like it is a house, and you have a stool at your bar. I'm gonna move that because I don't have a couch in here. I'll scrap everything else. And what you get from it doesn't particularly matter. You're gonna use it all anyway. The steel is one of those things you burn through it extremely quickly whenever you start building houses, building structures, building defenses. It goes by really quickly. But you need a large amount of it to do everything. So we're scrapping everything we can for now. We'll leave this chair in here. We can kind of move it around a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of some of the decorations and stuff. Is that yeah. I thought I saw something there. So that's kind of what I'm going to do for a little bit, is just kind of get this done, because whenever I get to a point where I can start building, I want to start building. And I kind of want to have everything cleaned out a little. Plus your people appreciate chairs and stuff. They do use them. Which sometimes can be a little bit annoying as well. If you have multiple places for people to go, they can kind of be spread out all over the place, and then you gotta hunt down for the one you're looking for a quest, or whenever you're assigning people to special things like farming or whatever. It takes a little bit to find the ones that aren't busy doing stuff. So the more spread out your settlement is for everything, the more difficult it is to find people sometimes for simple things that you're trying to do. I do think I have a mod installed as well. It's supposed to clean up all this stuff on the floor, all the little debris, leaves, everything. It's supposed to make it either scrappable or just get rid of it. I don't know when, how it actually kicks it and does it. So that's something I'm kind of learning as I go on a couple of the mods. As I said, I've never played with this many mods before. I'm gonna kind of make a little living area here with stuff that's already there. Get rid of the busted stuff. There's no broken chairs. I should have left that in my bed. I'm also going to show some stuff that is in the game as well. That's part of your home here. So I have a table here. Turlet. They can duke out in the creek if they need to go. The back creek, not the front creek, because that's going to be where my water source is. So. I gotta talk to Preston at some point, but right now I'm not. I'm just I'm going house to house and trying to clean up the streets a little bit, get all the nonsense things that don't matter, like the speed limit sign We don't have any vehicles, not important. So here's a couple things I did want to go over. I'm going to get rid of some of the stuff out of here first, and then I'll get the things. So it might be weird to some, but I do not scrap certain things out of this house, just cause. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oops, I don't want to see the stupid saw pad. We'll leave the lamp. Actually, I get rid of the lamp. And we'll leave one of the bar stools. Systematically going room to room. For some reason I can't scrap my own toilet. Get rid of the picture frame. So this is considered a dresser. So I'm going to get rid of the dresser. I'm going to get rid of this blaster. And this. Now this is a named item, Sean's crib. I do not scrap it. I never scrapped it in any playthrough of any game I've ever played. Don't ask me why. Don't particularly know. It's just something I never do. I never get rid of it, and I will, be rebuilding some stuff here at some point. It's actually part of a quest that I'm going to be working on, but I am going to go out of the building for a second to kind of show you two things. So as first is your special. There's a book here on the grounds near Sean's crib. You can grab it and you get one attribute of any kind. So I'm going to pick Charisma because, like I said, I'm trying to focus on that. So let's get Charisma. But it is another, again, free way to get an extra skill point. And then here we found our first book, the Garnak, I think that's pronounced. That was originally here. Before the bombs dropped. This is the same comic.
Hell yeah.
Pick it up. And it says critical hits with unarmed and melee attacks permanently do plus 5% damage. I don't usually melee very often. I've never tried to do a melee build. I like the guns. So I don't really use it, but it doesn't weigh anything. It's in your inventory. It's just kind of there. And it's just free stats. Free way to make your guys better. So those are two interesting things that you can do out of here. Again, it's not required to keep Sean's crib. You don't have to do it. Again, I've personally never scrapped it. I usually use this home as my player home in some facet or another in every playthrough I've ever done. I do make a storage house. It's kind of like a kind of like a armory. Eventually, is what I make, and I put all my different power armors in there and different weapons. You can build. You can build like weapon racks and stuff like that to display them, just like you did in Skyrim. So that is a thing. And you can make it look kind of cool. Obviously, my little settlement things, you can go on YouTube and you can search for settlement builds, and some of these people, with the mods and the time and everything that they've done, I've seen some on there, they spend 3, 4, 5, 6 hours just building things, and I never go that hard into it. I do enjoy building things, making them look kind of cool to me, but within reason. I don't want to devote that much time to just making something look pretty. Okay, so I hit that house. So this house here, speaking of kind of my armory, this is the one I turn into my armory. And I usually have multiple sets of power armor, all that stuff is usually here, and I use that house almost every time for that. And as I said, I'm going to be playing as a good character. What that means is kind of subjective, I guess. There's multiple factions which we're gonna see as we play along. It takes a little bit to get to them, but there are multiple factions, and you kind of have to choose which one is gonna be the one for you. There are some that are, I don't want to say noticeably bad, but they're not optimal if you're going to be a good character or bad character, just based on their practices. And again, that's going to be another subjective thing. Is, you know, it kind of seems like all of them are kind of slanted to be bad in a way. Whereas Fallout 3, it didn't really feel like that as much. It didn't really feel like there was a badder, and a baddest, or one you would consider worse than all the others, to say this one is the baddest one, and it's the one I'm going to side with. Fallout 3 kind of had a good and a bad. They had a good, it was definitely more slanted towards this is the group that we consider the good group, and there are noticeable reasons why, and there is also, why is it not letting me scrap these? There's also, you know, an odd group that is bad, and you can tell that they're bad. Very obviously, not a whole lot of defensible ways to say, you know, they're bad, but they have good intentions. Since I'm not playing Fallout 3, I guess I'll spoil a little bit. I mean, one of them wants to commit mass genocide. They want to kill everybody. That is, quote-unquote, considered a mutant, which they consider anybody that's been exposed to pretty much a full amount of radiation as evil, or somebody they want to wipe out, which entails everybody that was not raised in a vault, which there aren't a whole lot of vault survivors. But there weren't a whole lot of vault survivors. So obviously, since there aren't a whole lot of people that are from a vault that it still exists, basically everybody is bad to them. Everybody is infected, tainted in some way, and they want to wipe them all out. So it's not hard to figure out these are the bad people. Whereas in this game, they kind of twist that a little more in the game. The three major factions that you're going to run into that you have to kind of decide between, which ultimately you can decide just for none of them. You can side with the Minutemen, which we met through Preston Garvey, the guy with the green, it's not an arrow, but the green box with a line above his head. He is part of the Minutemen, and you can choose to side with them. You can side with the Minutemen, and they are probably the best as far as morally. They're not evil. I don't think you can make an argument that they're evil unless you're kind of being a little tongue-in-cheek about it. They're just not evil. They're not bad people. They just want for people to be able to live their lives, be at a settlement without having to worry about raiders coming and killing them, or worry about people being raped or whatever. I mean, they're simple. They're simple people with a simple goal, simple mindset. So yeah, I definitely say if you want to say one is a good group, it would be Minutemen. The Minutemen are good, but I mean, as we'll find out later on, if you were going to pick somebody a horse to back in the race, the more you find out about them, the more you kind of think, maybe these guys aren't what we need, I guess, is the best way I can put it. They were ran out of their fortress by what's called a Mirelurk in this game, which will, there's a quest about going to get their base back and everything like that. So so they feel they're by far, hands down, the weakest faction. Like there's no doubting that. I mean, obviously you can get mods like I did, and where's this little bug at? I heard him. The glitched? Oh, there he is. They're definitely the weakest. You can get mods and like where they do wear power armor, they do have better guns and stuff like that. But if you play just the generic, vanilla, no modded, anything game, they're the weakest. They have the most subpar weapons in the game. They don't really wear armor like any of the other factions. They wear trench coats and kind of like cowboy hats, I guess. I don't know if there's a specific name for them outside of just the visual of looking at a cowboy hat. That's what they wear, almost exclusively. They're not wearing, you know, combat armor, anything like that. They're basic armor, basic weapons, usually jerry-rigged, like the musket that we saw, the laser musket. It's not a powerful weapon. It's really not even very good in the beginning of the game. Mainly because the fusion cells that, mainly because the cells that it uses for ammunition, they're not the easiest to find early in the game. So ammo-wise, it's a little difficult. But also the damage output on it is not very good. They take a long time to wind up and be able to use the weapons to shoot, and they're just overall not great. Whereas the other people that we're going to meet in the game, there is the Institute, the Brotherhood of Steel, and the Railroad. They are more fit to be leaders of the Commonwealth, per se. I am going to go do stuff. I'm just getting this done, so later on I don't have to do this. I'm probably going to take a break here in just a little bit. I'm going to order me some... I think I'm going to order some Chinese food. Chinese food sounds pretty good.
Excuse me.
I'm glad you decided to come with us. I should have listened to Mama Murphy all along. Pretty nice place she's found for us. I think we could settle down here. Make it a place to call home. What do you think?
Yeah. I used to like living here. Before the war.
What do you mean? Before what war? Are you saying...
I lived here over 200 years ago. I was frozen or something for most of it. Just woke up a little while ago.
Damn.
No,
like one of those old pre-war
I'm basic on my Chinese food.
You say you were frozen.
Crab ragoons.
Anybody else make it out with you?
Plain fried rice. I used to eat chicken fried rice, but the meat's questionable. I don't know how they get it to where it's slightly rubbery and slimy at the same time for chicken, but they seem to pull it off very well, and it kind of started grossing me out every time I ordered from them. So I just stopped doing chicken. I just do plain fried rice, no vegetables, just fried rice.
My son. Somebody took him away while I was still trapped. I've been looking for him.
Damn. I'm sorry. I hope you find him. Let me know if there's any way I can help. Anyway, I am glad you're here. And I hope you don't mind, but I've got another favor to ask. I've had word from a settlement asking for help. There's still hope in there are Minutemen out there somewhere. The only chance to start rebuilding the Minutemen is to show people that they can count on us when they need us. Trouble is, I've got my hands full here. Do you think you could go help out the settlement?
I'd be glad to help.
That's fantastic. The Minutemen could use more people like you. By the way, if you want to help out around here at all, talk to Sturgis. I'm sure he'd be glad for all the help he can
I
get.
didn't get my full 2 level ups. I'm gonna scrap a couple more things just because I see them. So I pretty much scrapped most of the place. I need to check my mods and see why some things I can't scrap. I think these bushes, and there's some leaf piles and stuff, I should be able to scrap out of the game, and it kind of makes it look a little more clean. I never did understand why, especially if you have people living here, why not have them sweep the floor? Or like these walls where this clearly needs a paneling on it right here. Why not, why can't, whenever you have settlers there, they fix the wall at the very least? So it's kind of odd to me. I'm gonna talk to Sturgis. I'm not gonna try to go to Diamond City yet. Diamond City, the way to get there is kind of rough. And
Sturgis,
you willing to do some work?
You wind up dying.
I'd be glad to help.
Early.
Well, for
usually
starters, we
between
could
10
use
and
some
15,
real
you can go
beds.
there,
We've been
with
sleeping on the
power
ground
armor
for too long.
and make it there
Just
safe.
make sure we can sleep with a roof over our heads. Some of these old houses still look solid enough to do the trick. There's a workbench over there you can use. Give me a holler if you need anything.
And then this is where he kind of initiates the building. So he wants you to build beds. You can just hold select. I'm not sure what it is on the keyboard to start building stuff. I have the Vault DLC and everything like that on here. You know, I just thought about that. I don't remember any of the DLCs initializing whenever I first joined the game. So I wonder if I do. There are special structures you can build for them. Like you can build vault beds and stuff like that. Which these are pretty close. So I'm going to build some beds. I can build 94 of them at the moment. And they aren't the easiest thing to line up in place, but I'm going to get them in there. I'm going to try to do it from the floor. It's a little easier. So you don't need a whole bunch of them. I think they want you to build like 5 or so. You do need at some point 20 for you to have one for every person in your settlements. Actually, it's a number slightly more than 20. It's like 20. I think 22 or 23 is the max you can have. So, like I said, I go pretty hard into building whenever I get to that point. I'll build light poles and power all the houses, put lights inside, and all that stuff. I kind of actually do it like it would be a real settlement. But like, see, when I'm talking about this stuff on the floor here, it shouldn't be there. And that's just my opinion on how they could have handled it. It could have been, you know, just either you can assign somebody to clean the houses, or it's just something whenever you leave, somebody just cleaned it up, because they are living here, so you would think that they would want to have a clean living space of some sort. Alright, I think I finished that quest. I'm not sure. Did I? So I built more houses, so I'm going to talk to him again. And he'll give me another thing to do.
I like it. Having a place to sleep will improve everyone's spirits. What we need now is a reliable source of clean water.
I'm on it. Clean water coming up.
Great.
Sure.
So, like I said, there are ways to make a lot of clean water, but there's also easier things like these little water pumps you can build. I usually put one kind of out in front of all the houses, or each one of the houses that somebody's going to live in. I think we need, was it 2 of them? Yeah, was it 2? So, let me put one down. So I think I need to get build, I think it's called Build Anywhere, is one of the things that I need to download as far as a mod. It lets me pretty much do whatever I want to do when building. I went over here to one of my beds I built. So over here.
Hey, Sturgis.
feel better already, knowing we have a reliable supply of clean water. I hope you don't mind me asking for some more help, but our food supplies are running low. If we're gonna...
I'll start planting right.
Good deal.
Which I get. There are some already built food things in here, just little ones. I'm not going to do this part or the next part after it, which is... I'm not going to do the second part yet because I can get the berries like I was talking about from doing one of the quests from, let's see here. This is not the one that has it. I believe it's down here somewhere. There's one that has a lot of the berries. I can go ahead and get them from them. I'm going to go ahead and level up. I got 2 points. So let's do... So we're at 6 charisma. Yeah, we're at 5 charisma. Okay. So I'm going to do 1 into non-automatic pistols. And I'm going to do 1 into rifles, just to kind of cover my bases on the guns I got. And I'm going to go do a quest that's... It's kind of part of some stuff you can do out here, but let's see. I'm gonna travel to the Red Rocket. It's just a kind of a random quest. It's actually a 2-parter quest that's that I'm gonna do. You go there the first time and you help someone, and then you can go back later and kind of the situation changes. So that's what we're gonna do now. And I can turn this into a settlement as well, but I don't like getting too many settlements going at one time. I like to stick to 1 or 2. It is very time consuming to build a settlement, even if you kind of do the crappy-ish job that I do. But there is a thing on the map that I'm going to. There's also this little random place you can find that has some scrap and some stuff you can grab. Double kid. Alright. So we're gonna...
Oh, it's on! I'm gonna tell you!
Actually, I forgot. I did pick up some armor earlier. I can come put it on. I forget where I killed my guy. I'm gonna put my armor on. It's nothing good, but I do have some. I'm gonna put on the hat for the militia, and then there's some other stuff I can put on that I picked up from raiders. I got a left leg already. Put on the chest. That'll give me a little bit of damage reduce. How do I? There we go. I forget how you. There's a way. There's a way to. There we go. There's a way to kind of twist around. Just put on some armor. It kind of overlays the top of your basic stuff that you have on. But this little parts stacked up on top of each other. That's where I'm heading. That's not exactly where I'm going, but that's actually where I'm going, the little pickaxe and shovel. But this is also kind of a little side thing you can do, and it has some stuff over here that's pretty good. Just gotta get to it. There are certain places in the game where you can find power armor, kind of like we did earlier. That one's kind of a staged, you know, hey, here's what power armor is, here's how it works. here's how to power it, and you know, stuff like that. That's kind of basic in it, but there are set places where you can get more. This one has a giant robot in it. I'm not turn on right now, but what I'm looking for a piece of scrap to use. There's usually a weapon around here. There it is. You can get a Fat Man and a mini nuke at the very beginning of the game as well. It's one of the earliest places you can find one, and it's, as far as I'm aware, it's guaranteed. It's always there. So we're gonna go in here. And stim pack. I don't really want the water. There is another.
Perfect.
Another magazine. Permanently unlocks a new custom paint job for your power armor, so it's pretty sweet. I'm gonna take the cigar boxes here. Stim pack, and just go ahead and take out the scrap. Now this terminal over here. What's that? Here we go. This terminal over here has a holotape in it, and you can play the tape, and it's actually linked to the robot outside. So it says commissioned by Redacted and built by Redacted. This prototype Sentry must be only operated by official personnel of Redacted or associated client. So I can activate it, and it gives me the warning: this operation, boot combat system prototype. It's pretty much saying if I break it, I bought it. Don't really care about that. And then I can eject the holotape out of it. Let's see if there's... I can't remember if I can give him commands yet. There we go. So I can engage defense protocols, or I can deactivate it first off. I can engage defense protocols, I can initiate self-destruct, or I can get information about it. Pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm just going to initiate self-destruct on him. He isn't very good. You can kind of send him to random places, but he doesn't do anything. He'll go to the place you send him to, and he'll just kind of chill there, but he doesn't really do anything. I thought I initiated the self-destruct. Maybe I didn't.
Citizens, please clear the area and find cover. There is a...
So we're gonna try it again. Play the tape. Initiate self-destruct. Yes, I want to do it. And then
5.23% chance of collateral damage. Sequence complete.
Okay, he blows up. So he's a military robot. He does have certain things you can do. You can send him to certain military locations, and that's kind of cool. He'll go there, but he takes forever to get there, and that's not an exaggeration. It can take him hours and hours to get there, and when he gets there, half the time he will get stuck because he's kind of glitched, and he won't actually do anything. He'll just kind of go in that general area, get lost, stop. Okay. Sorry. I didn't know what that thing was going to do. Anyway, he'll just kind of go there, stop, and turn around and come back. He comes right back to that place. Run over. So it's not really useful to send him anywhere or even leave him around. If you just leave him there, he'll just kind of tool around there. Actually, the stuff that he has inside of him is more valuable than he is himself by a long shot. That's why I say just kill him. Take what he has. He has fusion cores, which are very valuable in the beginning of the game, especially if you want to use power armor. and his is extremely low throughout the game, even if you don't use him very long. So we got this. So we're going down here, going to this shovel and pickaxe thing. It's a kind of a mine. So that's where we're heading. That's where we're going to do one of our quests. And probably as soon as I finish this quest, I'm going to take a break real quick to go and order my food. And then I'll be back after that. I'll probably stop streaming right around 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is about an hour away. And I'll pick up where I left off sometime this week. I'll probably do a little bit of this and some more PUBG throughout the week. I was going to keep streaming on Moto, but my friend's account, he's with the announcements that Magic they made on Magic, saying that they're kind of getting rid of the Pro Tour, but they're going to have special events on Arena and stuff like that. He's kind of worried about, you know, the prices of Moto going down, or, you know, if they announce Magic Gathering Online's going away. Sorry.
Unless you're going to pitch in here,
bye
keep a
kind of thing.
distance.
So he's going to sell off his account before that happens. So I don't have an account to stream with. If anybody does have an account that they would allow me to stream with, I'd be more than happy to continue streaming Magic Online. But he offered to sell it to me. He said it's about $1,000 worth of cards.
Looking to earn some cash?
Offered to sell it to me for $900.
I could use a hand here if you're all done talking, you know.
I could probably help.
I just really didn't
for a few caps
feel
extra.
comfortable
I was going to
making
give you
an investment
something anyway. 75 caps for your time?
Not sure if I'm up for it. A couple more caps might change my mind, though.
Not going to make this easy, are you? All right, 100.
So there were the speech checks I was talking about. I hit 2 of them. Now this one, it went from yellow to kind of an orangish color to now a red color. It's just the increasing difficulty of them. Since I'm only 5, I'm not going to push my luck and try to ask for even more. I could, but it doesn't really matter. More than likely, I'm going to fail it.
Yeah. The pump
And
isn't in top
I
shape,
don't need
but
to
it should at
need
least
to do it
start.
for any particular reason.
There must be some leaky connections. The leaks will be underwater. Look for bubbles, and you should find them.
So as you can see, you can kind of see the bubbles right there. There's one there. There's another one there. And the other one's way over there. You can kind of barely see it. I'm just kind of coming down here to pick up my power armor. Because if you jump into the water with the power armor, it is a very, very deep hole. So if you go in with power armor on, you will sink to the bottom and eventually die. So I'm gonna get these 3 spaces here. Just kind of follow the bubbles down, looking for the nozzle. Oops, it kind of moves you a little bit too, with the, I guess, the general water flow. So, we got 2 of them, and then there's the last one over here. I don't remember how far down it is. I have to go back up to the top and go down. I think it won't take that thing down. I really do like this quest. I like how it kind of progresses a little bit. So, the water. Okay, so we're inventory. I don't remember if I set my meds up or not. So I usually do my Radaway on top, and then my stim packs on the bottom. Oops, I just take it off there. Okay. I need to put my shotgun back there. I don't know why I picked up the full queue. Throw one. I need a shotgun. Okay. So we're actually going to need this shotgun. Let's go fill it out. I'm going to use the Radaway to get rid of my radiation. Let it go down. Then I'm gonna use the stim pack to fill my head. Use the stim pack to fill my life back up. not to run because I don't want to use as I want to keep as much energy in my cores as possible. So I try to save them as much as possible. Eventually, you get to a point where you can just piss them away.
That's
it's just
a
not
ticket.
early in the game.
You do the honors.
You can
Hit that
buy
switch
them,
on the end
you
of the
can,
pump.
You can find them. I mean, I usually wind up with well over 100 very, very easily, and at that point, I just kind of get the power level too. I run around power constantly.
Still got some tinkering to do on this thing. Shouldn't be too hard now, though. Thanks for pitching in. Here's a little something before you clear out.
There's a little bit of experience and finish that quest. So later on, we can come back here. We can either come back here because we want to come back here, or we can come back here because there are certain little. I don't want to say quests. They're kind of like. Hey, go here and do something, kind of things that are repeatable from certain characters in the game. Those are another one of our books.
Hell yeah.
We needed permanently unlock a new unique facial tattoo. So, so you can come back here, and then whenever I do eventually come back here, you will see things have changed here dramatically. I can actually leave here and come back. I want to say it's about 1 to 3 in-game days. I don't remember the exact number, and the changes will have already taken effect. But I like coming back kind of when I'm supposed to, not just hey, look at this thing.
Yes.
I'm not getting the Mike Tyson face tattoo. Actually, I never looked at the tattoo options in the game for what exactly they even offer as far as tattoos go.
That's it.
Another pipe rifle bolt action, which I do not need. That's fan. Alright, so we can leave here, go back to Sanctuary. And then also got a couple other places discovered on our map, so we can use the fast traveling. Fast traveling is very, very helpful early in the game. Kind of let you get around and finish stuff quicker. I always like trying to discover locations as early as I can, so that way I can take advantage of that. Actually, what am I?
At least it's not raining.
I'm gonna do it while I'm
You ask
here.
me, freedom's always worth fighting for.
I'm gonna build furniture, containers, and I'm gonna build me a chest right here. Put some stuff in, because I want to keep my carrying weight open. For stuff, so I'm pretty much just gonna put stuff in here. I'm gonna sell eventually, or things that I'm gonna keep that are taking up inventory space right now. So get rid of all those. All the pieces of power armor, I'm not going to use them yet. I can put them in my outfit too. And I'm going to keep all the meds on me. They really don't weigh that much, so I'll just keep them on there. But I'm back down to 62.
Just find a nice spot of grounding.
I want to make sure I keep in space for all the junk I'm going to put in. The junk is really important for building your settlements.
Plant whatever
So
you've got.
I'm gonna keep it there.
Anything fresh will be a great change for us.
So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna order my food. I will be right back. And shouldn't take me more than about 3 to 5 minutes.
What you got left in you? Your eyes open. Should've just run! Where'd that little fucker go? Made a big mistake, rookie!
Crop's been growing pretty good lately.
Excuse me.
What do you want? We don't need any more trouble around here.
Take it easy. I'm with the Minutemen. I'm here to help.
You're with the Minutemen? I didn't really think you fellas still existed. We sent word with one of them passing traders, but honestly, I never expected anything to come of it. Most people don't put much stock in the Minutemen these days after Quincy. Bad business, that.
We're rebuilding the Minutemen from the ground up. We're the good guys again.
Glad to hear it. No question that things have been worse since the Minutemen fell to pieces. There's a raider gang that's been giving us trouble for weeks, stealing food and supplies, threatening to kill us all if we don't pony up. We know where they're coming from, but we can't go up against a gang like that.
Will you be willing to join the Minutemen once I've dealt with those raiders?
Well, we'll certainly give it a good long think. People have gotten used to not being able to count on you folks. That's not going to change overnight.
forgot I had myself muted. Sorry about that. So, I don't know what everybody heard as far as the game goes, but I was going to go to the Corvega assembly plant's a little tough for my level. Corvega assembly plant's a little tough for my level. That I'm pretty low on ammunition, so I don't want to go there and get smashed. I'm most likely just gonna do this quest, which is a little more simple, kill more raiders, like that.
That's close enough, stranger. We're a peaceful farm. We don't want any trouble.
And it's at the
It's okay, I'm friendly.
satellite array I was
Not
just
looking to
at.
cause any...
If you say so, let me
like I said,
tell you.
I was muted, I didn't know it.
Farming's hard work.
And,
Won't argue with that.
You missed
Lake
a lot of what I
Avenue.
was saying about what
Been
I was
ages
doing.
since I've seen one of those vault suits around. You new to these parts?
Yeah, you could say that.
Good to see a new face. How about you? Ever think about working the land?
I'm sure I'll give it a try someday.
Well, good luck to you then. Maybe I'll see you at the Diamond City Market someday and we'll do a swap. Word of advice though, if you do start up a farm, be ready to deal with the raiders. Why do all the hard work when you can just take what you want at gunpoint?
Sounds like bad news to me.
You really are new to these parts. Best armed bastards in the Commonwealth. You have something they want, they won't hesitate to take it. Last time those raiders hit us, my daughter Mary tried to stand up to them. Now she's buried out back of the house. Only 21 years old, and they shot her down without a thought. That's why we need the Minutemen back. And the sooner, the better.
There's nothing worse than losing a child. Believe me, I know.
I'm sorry to hear you say so. I don't have much to offer, but those raiders that killed Mary, they took her locket too. It's been in Connie's family for generations. If you could get it back, it'd mean a lot to us.
Don't worry. I'll get that locket back for you.
Good. Connie feels like it's a part of Mary. I don't think she'll rest easy again as long as it's gone.
Okay, so you kind of missed some of what I said because I obviously didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, I'm muted again. So the reason I didn't go into that Air Force array was because there is a quest in there, and that's what I'm working on now. I actually do have some ammunition in here. I'm gonna go ahead and take. I'm gonna take the body bins too. So that's the reason why I didn't go there initially. I kind of just was walking through and discovered it on the map, but that's kind of why I was doing it. But as I was saying when I was walking by it, I'm not going to go into it right away because I know there's a quest inside that I'm going to have to go and do anyway, and I do not know if that item, the locket that he was talking about, actually spawns inside of it without having the quest. So just be on the safe side, and just to, you know, kind of do things in the order in which I'm supposed to. I came back now after I did get the quest for it. So that's what we're gonna do now. This place can be kind of tricky. All these places are kind of tough at the lower levels, but you kind of have to do something to level up. You can't just run around and kill random animals that jump out at you. You have to do some quests. These are the more difficult for the level, but they are accomplishable if you take your time, use some stealth. So I'm gonna... Did I level up? I think I did. Yes, I did. So I'm gonna level up while I'm doing it because there are some things I'm gonna need. I need lockpicking, which is very good. Oh, I did pickpocketing. I did not mean to do that. Let me load. Hopefully I can do that before I did it. I need to do lock picking, and I need to do hacking for terminals. That's here. Looks like I have to point back. So we need lock picking, not that. So lock picking is very helpful. Definitely need to have lockpicking at least the first 3 levels. The last level's kind of pointless. Your bobby pins never break during lockpicking. You don't have to do it. Lockpicking is fairly simple, and lockpicks are very easy to come by. Same with hacking. When you're hacking, you never get locked out of a terminal when things go wrong. It's not needed. You do your 3 attempts, then you back out, then you go back in and do another. So you don't need to do it. If you want to take points, if you just want to max out everything, you can do them. But we definitely are going to need those here I think very soon, actually. There is a couple terminals and stuff we're going to have to unlock. Take the cup. And there's an advanced one, which is why we got our skill. And it kind of breaks down how to hack, but basically what you do is
got it.
That wasn't supposed to happen. You select a word, and it tells you how many letters you have correct that are in that word. I just happened to pick the first word on the screen, and it happened to be the correct answer, which does happen, I don't want to say fairly often, but kind of often. Sometimes you get lucky like that, but I like coming to this place, and I like to do it early because there are a lot of good things here. So we hacked the terminal, gave us a little experience. There's a safe here that you can lockpick, get some free experience from, and usually ammo is what we're here for. I'm gonna take that. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. Give me just a second. Oh, maybe not. Sorry. So I like coming to this place because there's usually decent scrap. Dust fans are really good. The mini nuke is I can kind of take it or leave it. I don't use those kinds of weapons very often. They're fun when you're just playing around, but there's a lot of times you just accidentally kill yourself because of the launcher itself. I don't particularly care for them. And there also is there's another book in here. I'll jump up here because my dog keeps getting in the way. So it's one of our U.S. covert operations manuals, and it permanently makes me more difficult to detectable sneaking, which kind of gives you the indication they want you to sneak through this place. So we're gonna sneak through. I kind of know where the guys are in this place. I think that dog kind of detected us. But we're going to stand up and we're going to pop this guy. Oh, he walked off. Okay, so there's usually a guy down this hallway. There's nothing I really want in there. Usually a guy and a dog down
What
here.
the fuck was that?
And he didn't make it.
Back down!
So we're going to sneak around in here. And impacts.
Asshole!
Okay, that wasn't very bright. So I usually don't take the time to go and look through all the toilets, and there can be stuff in the toilets, there can be stuff in the sinks. I don't take the time to do all that. I know Oxhorn, whenever he's doing his videos, I mean, he's extremely thorough in his looting. It's a lot of extra time that I just don't feel like it's necessary. I'll like peek at stuff as I'm walking by it, but I'm not gonna, try to jump up on top of things to look into a certain place and see if there's a rat away or something in it. It's just not worth the time. I know there's at least 4 or 5 guys over here. Usually there's one patrolling right this room. I don't see him. He didn't make it. Now his friends will be coming around the corner. making loot. Dog meat loot so you get up. There you go. So, the army helmet. Like I said, this is a pretty decent spot to come to pick up some armor. Or not armor, ammo. Sorry, I'm kind of keeping an eye on my pizza, or my order. I told them they'll deliver at 9:30, but I say it's probably a 50-50 shot that they just deliver it when they feel like it. So I'm kind of hoping they hold off, because I wanted to wait until after the stream was over to eat, or for it to be delivered, but if I have to answer the door, that's what's happening is the pizza showed up, or the order. I didn't order pizza. I ordered stuff from Pizza Hut. I love pizza. I can only stand to eat so much of it. I'm actually gonna quit sneaking because there's no more guys left. We killed the rest of the raiders, but there are some other enemies in here I have to get to, or I'm gonna get to anyway. Take the locket that we're supposed to get. Extra bobby pins, rat away, duct tape. It's kind of funny. There's a screwdriver underneath there. It looks like they were trying to, you know, pry it open, get into it somehow. That guy has okay. Sweet spot.
That's it.
Bugs. Dog meat not helping. Thanks, bud. Clear all them.
Nice.
Okay. So there's a couple things in here. My health is kind of low. I didn't realize how low it was. Legendary, right? Hunter's walking cane, just what I needed for my melee build of badness. So this is also a place, the key that I use the terminal to get into. This is also a place that you can get the key. Usually in this game, if there's something that's locked, there's either a terminal or a key somewhere in that area that will unlock it. Not always. Like the key that I got for the Corvega plants also was dropped by a guy that wasn't even in the Corvega plant. That is something, but it's part of the main quest, and they're expecting you to go there, and you know it's not unheard of. There's another season 4, which we can always use. I can build up on them. Flip lighter and some more scrap. I usually don't pick up any food. Hot plates. I gotta take the hammer. And that should be it. This place is cleared. Double check here, and I think I saw a tool case over there. I'm gonna check just to see if there's any scrap in it. So take the ammo. Oh, it's a chem box. It kind of looked like a toolbox.
Got it.
Scrap. So take the meds. Meds are really nice. They're worth some money later on. Whenever you finally get to a town where you can sell some stuff, there's a couple vendors that you can sell it, get some extra and stuff like that. So meds are always nice to pick up. I pretty much do most of my selling is either stuff I got or water whenever I get my water setup done. Since we don't have to worry about being attacked, I'm not going to heal right now. I'm going to just go ahead and go finish this quest, and I'll go back to my settlement in Sanctuary Hills, and I will go ahead and sleep, which will restore my health, and I can kind of save some stim packs there. we not... Did I not even put that on my main quest thing? There it is. I didn't turn it on to track it. I just kind of knew what I was doing and where I was going.
I've got that locket back for you.
You serious? That's great news. Connie's gonna be speechless. I'm sure she'll go lean on her prices after what you've done. And feel free to use our workshop. At least we can do.
Okay, so we got another level. Sweet. I'm gonna take some ammo from these guys. I do need a lot more 308 ammo. Usually I have more than this at this time, but I don't at the moment. So since I am here, I can take food from them. I can pick and harvest the tatos, which are basically tomato-looking things. I'm guessing that's what they are, unless they're actually a real thing. I think they're just mutated tomatoes, but that in my head, whenever I played the game, every time, that's always what I was thinking. It's just a mutated tomato, and that's what these people call this thing. That may not be correct though. So if anybody knows anything about that and I'm wrong, please correct me. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump off some scrap. And what are all these markers for? Provide food. Oh, I've never seen it do that. It's usually just it doesn't even have an indicator. So I want to say the Corbega plant is on the way to, I think it's called Grey Garden, because there is I want to say a water treatment plant or something about right here, and right across from it, I want to say it's like right there, is a settlement that has the tato, or the mute fruit that you can take and plant. So I would like to go to that. I don't have a whole lot of time left. I've been streaming. Let me check my stream. It's going to minimize that, but so I've currently been streaming for about almost 3 hours now. I've been live for 2 hours and 54 minutes. I was planning on doing about 3 hours, so we're getting close to it. Is there anything else I could do really quick? Something reasonably quick. Well, let's I'll tell you what, let's just do some exploring. We'll go back to his farm, we'll head south, or kind of just walk around a little bit and discover a couple areas. We're not necessarily going to do any more quests, but it never hurts to have more of my map filled in, and it'll help me later on whenever I'm doing the Corbega thing, which I'll probably do that tomorrow, just to get it done. Stop and obviously do some. Oh, I didn't want that. Do some looting while we're out here. So always need a lot of ammo for this game, especially like I said, in the early stages of the game. It's very important. I'm gonna hit this real quick, and then I'm gonna get that cabin over there. These are feral ghouls. First time we've ran into one so far.
No way I could pick this.
Oh, can't do that yet. So, essentially what happens with radiation in this game, obviously it's not real, what really happens, but there are different stages, different types of feral ghouls. There are feral ghouls that are still human mentally. They've been around since when the bombs dropped in this game, and they still remember. They still can talk. They still can communicate everything. They're essentially humans. Just they look different. And then there's those that are like the ones we just saw. They're pretty much this game's version of zombies. They don't have a mind. They just attack and fight, and they're not human anymore. They lost that element. There are also different versions of those. Pretty much with any enemy you see in the game, there's always a normal-ish version, and then there's a more extreme version. Those are called glowing ones in this one. They're highly irradiated. They're basically green, and they're obviously much tougher to kill because they're a more advanced version of this unit. But they do have a special attack that can use kind of like a radiation AoE ability, and if there's any ghouls in that vicinity, it'll heal them. If there's and it'll also irradiate you as well. So it's okay. They're pretty interesting. They kind of do some stuff with ghouls on this game, not as much as Fallout 3. There's actually a full town of ghouls, and sometimes they are really insightful because there's obviously nobody from that time really that's left. So having them around, they can kind of tell you some stories / history of what happened when the bombs dropped, how things were in this world. Because this timeline kind of diverges from us around World War II. There's actually some things. There's a Bible. I think it's written by. I think his last name's Avalon. He wrote the Bible for this game, and he put some pretty in-depth things in it about their timeline. Even going back far before World War I, World War II, there's some little tidbits in there of different things. And there's a really great video done by Oxworm that has it talks about the Divergence. You can look it up on your bike. Another book here. Permanently take 5 less damage from melee attacks. It's a Wasteland Survival Guide for this one. He did an excellent video about the Divergence and how he thinks when he thinks the Divergence actually happened, because it was kind of a, I wouldn't say a misconception, but kind of an idea that everything changed after World War II, which I think that's where the biggest changes came, but I think there were subtle changes before that point. But whenever you're talking about a very large difference in a world, I would say that's whenever the largest point changes. World War II, they started working on the fusion, energy fusion weapons, stuff like that, and the nuclear thing wasn't. Well, I mean, it was still. We never really worked on fusion as much in our real time. As you can see, I use a lot of bats for these stupid bugs because there's a big waste of ammo trying to shoot at them. They're very difficult to kill. Somebody's sitting up here smoking, drinking some whiskey, and staring out into a pile of irradiated barrels. Oops. At least I have some bobby pins now.
Nice.
Take some more bobby pins. So there's another place over here. There's certain places I don't want to go yet. There is a place with a, I think a Yogwe is how they pronounce it. It's a type of bear. and they're extremely hard. I doubt I could kill one at my level, so I kind of want to steer clear of that if I can. And I'm thinking that's what this this cabin-looking marker is to my east here. I'm pretty sure that's what this is, so I'm probably not gonna go there. But there, this little. Oh, no, I remember this one. This is the one that has the feral wolves in it. My bad. Sorry, different cabin. There is a cabin that you can actually run into fairly early that has a Yagwai in it, and it's pretty savage. Okay, so we discovered this. Kind of looking for bodies. Yeah, there is a cabin you can bump into that has a Yagwai outside of it. I want to say it's like a park kind of thing. You can just bump into it, and they're very, very tough. They hit very hard, and it's a very surefire way to die if you run into it too early. Little settlement thing over there I run into. There's a lot of little random settlements you run into. They're not marked. They're just kind of there. A lot of them are just raiders. So just kill the raiders.
This is gonna be fun! End of the line!
Just kill the raiders and move on. But they do sometimes have some interesting ammo, weapons, stuff like that. So I always try to stop and get them when I can. So it looks like this point down here. Looks like they were using settlers and mannequin as target practice. That answers that. Got it. Alright, so we'll continue down. This is actually kind of it's based on a real place. Again, I've watched almost every video that Oxhorn has ever made, and he goes in depth on some things that are very, very interesting. I believe this is actually a park that's in real life. Well, the cabin is. There's a cabin up here that is actually somebody's house in real life.
Hello, and welcome to Walden Pond. You are now standing in front of the cabin. You are now standing in front of the cabin inhabited by transcendentalist writer and philosopher Henry David Thoreau, starting in the summer of 1845. For 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days, Thoreau lived in this cabin, hoping to gain a more objective understanding of society. This experiment was influenced by Thoreau's interest in transcendentalist philosophy, which believed that people were at their best when truly self-reliant. By living off the land with few material possessions, Thoreau proved it skeptical to think that any outward improvement of life could bring inner peace and contentment. For more information, please visit the gift shop and purchase one of the many books on transcendentalism. Also available, t-shirts, coffee mugs, toys, and many other items to commemorate your trip.
Okay.
Thank you for visiting Walden Pond, sponsored by General Atomics, maker of the Mr. Handy robotic assistant.
Yeah, if I remember right, I believe there's some booby traps in here. Note to Wheeze. Tweeze. If you're reading this, then you're an idiot. This is the last time I'll tell you. We're locking this door. Use the entrance in the sewer pipe. Next time you forget, I'm locking your ass out permanently. So we're going to go ahead and take that, and that kind of lets us know, hey, there's an entrance down at the sewer pipe that we passed earlier. And we'll go down there. I think there's some raiders in there. That's what winds up being in there. And after we finish this, I'm going to go ahead and go back to Sanctuary. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to sneak. Sorry, I've been playing, obviously, you've been watching me playing. I've been playing PUBG, and the button
this guy
differences
made sure he had everything he needed before he started his camping trip.
pretty different. So
checked his list and everything.
Things that I
what the
normally
fuck was
do.
that?
Got him. Got him. Ammo. Short hunting rifle, that's nice. Take a couple of those. Yeah, so the difference subtly in the game controls do mess with me. The jump button has been jumping the bats has been my favorite part of them.
Fucking pay for that. There you are.
Die, Walter. So I lit them both up. Got that. I don't really care about the basic stuff. Alright, so some ammo, cocktails, stepways, worth some money. I'm not gonna take Molotov. Just like that. Let's see here. I guess I can walk around now. Everybody's dead. Oops, I didn't mean to take a strip. Kind of hitting the buttons pretty quick because I do want to talk a little before I end the stream. We're getting there to the end. I did 3 hours this afternoon and 3 hours, I guess earlier.
Yes.
I got that special weapon. It is a wrench. It's named Big Jim, and it has 20% 20% chance to cripple the target's leg. So, but yeah, I did a stream earlier today. I started, I want to say it was around 2, and went until about right around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then I did another one today. I started this one at 6, and it's about 9 now, Central Standard Time. So we've definitely put some streaming hours in. I think I did about between yesterday and today I did about between 6.5 hours, and then yesterday I did, I want to say, about 7 hours total is what I figured up. And if you'd like to always go back and watch those videos, they are on Twitch. I believe they save on YouTube as well. So if you'd like to ever go back and watch anything, it's mainly PUBG. I did play some Magic Online. I did a league with Jeskai Control. I did a league with Grixis Death Shadow. Both were decent. They weren't anything special, but they are available if you'd like to watch them. I do live stream on Twitch and YouTube, both. You can find both under my name, Blue Phoenix Games. Yes. Blue without the E. What else? I stream Monday through Friday. I'm going to do 365 days of streaming, starting straight out of the gate. I'm probably going to try to go much longer than that, as far as a record of, going. I would like to go maybe 400 or 500 days without taking a break from streaming. Obviously, if something happens, I can't pack up my monitors and my large desktop computer and take it with me. I mean, there may be a circumstance where I'll miss a stream. maybe for a day or two. You know, God forbid, you know, somebody passes away or anything like that. But as long as it's under my control and I have the option to stream, I will be streaming 365 days this year straight. I'll be starting Monday through Friday.
Just when you think you're safe, you're not. That's how they always get you.
Pause it so there. Don't talk. So Monday through Friday, I'm going to be streaming from about 6 p.m. to between 8 and 9 p.m. Every day. And then Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to kind of do like I did this weekend and just play it by ear. I'll probably do one kind of in the morning-ish, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Start one of them, and then another one starts about 5 or 6 in the afternoon and stream kind of late. That's what I did. It seemed to work for me as far as fitting in my schedule. Again, if something comes up, I do play Magic the Gathering, so if I'm going to a tournament that's usually in the afternoon, I might stream late, maybe starting like 9 o'clock or something like that instead of 6 o'clock or whenever I get out of my event. So I'll try to keep it posted when I'm going to do things and adjust accordingly. But I really do appreciate everybody coming and watching. Please tell your friends, you know, what I'm trying to do. I do want to grow this into a full-fledged channel with, you know, edited content, some extra things. Like I want to do a Mario League. I would like to continue streaming Magic if I can find our Moto. If I can find someone that has a Moto account they'd let me borrow. I might actually consider streaming some live action Magic. That is an option that I've considered. Pretty much setting up maybe a rig of some sort to have a webcam over a table, and then me and one of my friends play tests certain decks from Modern or Legacy against each other. That is something I've considered, and you know, kind of doing somewhat similar like SCG does. With, you know, this is how we want to sideboard. Maybe talk about our plays when we're making them, stuff like that. You know, there's a variety of things I would like to try out. So just I can't make you a moderator until I get to where I'm sponsored by Twitch. I tried to find a way to do it. There's no way for me to change it. I think I have to get to 50 plus followers before I can make a change like that. So getting word of mouth out, it will definitely help me get to the follower goal I need. I need 50 followers. That's my goal to get to the next tier of Twitch, and then I can move forward. But I definitely appreciate anybody trying to help or support. Trying to think what I want to stream tomorrow. I'm probably going to do PUBG. I kind of like streaming PUBG because I can kind of double duty what I'm doing. So the times I've been streaming PUBG, I have had some people that I played or was currently playing with decide that they wanted to follow me, which was very helpful. So I can kind of talk to them, network them, let them know, hey, I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch right now, and they can go check out my channel. They could see me playing. It kind of adds that human element to usually just picking up random person off of internet to play a game with. So I like the PUBG just because it lets me possibly find more viewers or followers and play my games as well. I have talked to some friends that own local game shops, and Kevin, he owns Gamers Bazaar, and then my buddy Brian, he owns the Gaming Center. I've talked to them about possibly doing some advertising for them, trying to get them to, like word of mouth, hey, this guy that we know is part of our Magic community, or, in the Brian, I guess I formerly was. I don't live in Perryville, Missouri anymore, but they can kind of say, hey, you know this guy, he's streaming, support him. He would appreciate it. I would appreciate it, kind of thing. So word of mouth is definitely where I'm living right now. If anybody has a friend, or like I said, if you just have somebody that has a Twitch account and they don't mind putting a follow on me, I just need to get to 50 in some way. if you have any questions, I do have my Twitter and my Facebook. Twitter is at Blue Phoenix Games, Facebook at Blue Phoenix Games, both of them on there. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions for games, anything at all, you can private message me on either one. I check each one daily, at least once or twice a day, usually before work, and then before I start streaming, I'll look and see if there's any new friend requests or anything coming up. But yeah, you can also shoot me an email as well, bluephoenixgames@gmail. If you have any questions, you know, any communication you want to make with me, I would appreciate it. I just want to grow this thing, get it off the ground, and then maybe start moving forward with some things that I have plans for, and hopefully maybe get my friends involved, like J.A. West. He's talking about possibly streaming, so maybe if he sees that I have followers, I can let him stream on my channel, whatever he wants to play, maybe Magic Arena, whatever, and you know, help him get off the ground as well, or add him to one of my streamers that I'm planning to have in the future. Same with my other friend Scott. He does a lot of Diablo. I've been trying to get him to stream more, or stream under my name, and also possibly stream with me and play something that we can play together. But he's not big on multiplayer games, so we'll kind of have to see. But I really do appreciate everybody for coming and watching today. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I will make a post on Facebook and Twitter before I go live. See you guys then.